Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from the Singapore Fintech Festival, and joining me for this segment, we have Gavin, Chia, Managing Director with Moomoo Financial Singapore, to discuss investor behavior shifts following the pandemic and opportunities for online brokers. Gavin, it's great to finally meet you in person in Singapore. No better place on the planet. And let's talk about Futus 10-year anniversary. You're a key player in the online brokerage industry. Share some of your insights, some of the developments that you're seeing.
Sure, thanks a lot, Joe. Same here. Very happy to be seeing you physically. Of course, I got to say it's a huge milestone for Futu itself. 10 years, and on our side, we really hope to have many more sets of 10 years thereafter. And of course, on our side, for the past 10 years, there's a lot of changes in terms of what we see in terms of how the younger groups, how they trade in terms of their trading behavior. And a lot of time right now, what we realize, they like to do a lot of trading independently. A lot of them, they'll be doing it individually as compared to the older groups, especially in Singapore, Southeast Asia, where they will depend on, sometimes agents or remisers. So that's one point that I got to say is one of the developments that we have been focusing, how to make our apps, good, good to use, easy to use, a very rich platform where everybody will be able to see a lot of things. And of course, another thing what we realize in terms of insights is that we also realized that a lot of younger groups, they would prefer to trade within their means, no leverage. They would like to just trade within what they have, and this is something that we have been able to customize in the system. And of course, just very recently, we just came out with our second Q 2022 reports. I got to say there's a surge in terms of revenue and net profit, and I got to say this is our 11 quarters in the money. This shows in terms of the whole company in Futu and people using our apps Moomoo, we are in the right directions. And I got to say it's also a very great honor to be working with Nasdaq in many other fronts.
Which is quite impressive as we had to go through the pandemic, and I want to ask you about that. How has investor behavior shifted post-pandemic, and what are some of the opportunities that you're seeing for online brokers as a result of that?
Yes, this is a very good question over here. There's a lot of great opportunities because as shared, a lot of all these clients, they are actually looking at apps, they are trading alone. And to date itself, we have been coming out with like 400, 500 clips just on the handphone itself or even on YouTube's. And even as a retail client who doesn't know how to trade, they will be able to find all this information online and they will be able to start from there. And that's one part. And second part is we do have our Moomoo community. I got to say this is a huge focus where a lot of all these newbies, they will be able to ask questions. And on our side, we have a very strong filtering. And from there, with that strong filtering and with this enriched platform that we have, we are actually, I got to say, it's helping a lot in terms of these clients, especially in terms of pandemic. And another point is, I got to say, in terms of Nasdaq Total View, it has been one of the pain points. Is that in Singapore and Southeast Asia is actually market data, and we have been working with Nasdaq on this part itself, and I got to say it's a great honor over here. Good staff, good quality staff, and I got to say it's a good feedback from clients too. And we also did, with Nasdaq in terms of educational seminars on options. So these are all great stuff, and I got to say in terms of viewership, so when we were doing it online, it hits in terms of high thousands in Singapore. So I got to say it's totally impressive, and we hope to do more together with Nasdaq.
That's amazing. So the online brokerage, it's a highly competitive market. What makes Futu's products stand out from the crowd?
I got to say first thing, if you want to put it back in terms of company strength, among 2,800 employees, 2,000 of them are actually in IT and R&D. I got to say from my brokerage experience or even like my banking experience, to have such a huge pool, I got to say 70% in terms of manpower to be focused on IT and R&D is rare. It's rare. Even our closest competitor, I don't see that it will be near to that number. I got to say this gives us an advantage because from there in terms of changes, from a market point of view, from a macroeconomic point of view, from a client's request point of view, from a user point of view, we will be able to change very swiftly. And the good thing is, if I got to say, example, the Fed itself, they increased 75 basis point last night. And through that news itself, I got to say in that next 15 minutes, we will be able to distribute the news out to everybody. I got to say this is where I got the strength in Futu, where we embrace technology. And given that, right now, currently with a strength of just 60 people in Singapore, to be able to manage high 6-digit clients in Singapore, I got to say it's near to impossible in terms of traditional point of view.
Well, let me ask you about this. What about in terms of acquiring and retaining tech talent? That's a big topic that we've been discussing here at SFF because everybody needs the tech talent, and you got to worry about the supply there.
Yes, I mean that is why I got to say we have a huge pool of talented, IT staff over in Shenzhen and in China itself, and that's where we have frequent communications. I mean, over on our sites, we are actually constantly working with them very closely, and from there, that's where we can actually move things and get things done very fast. And from a cost point of view, that even actually lower the cost on our side.
Right. Well, all right, let's talk about that. We know about the competition, we know zero commission and all the offerings that online brokers are making. Where does the revenue come from?
Very good questions, because this is one of the common questions that we have been getting. And I got to say, first of all, I mean, as much as it's all zero commission, first of all, Futu doesn't sell our flow. Second part is we do charge a small platform fee. That will be like 99 cents per trade regardless of quantity. So I got to say, other than platform fee, there are actually interest income, and of course we have been very focused in terms of deal making over in Singapore, in Hong Kong, in US. So I got to say, and another part in terms of Moomoo, I got to say sometimes I see Moomoo as a little bit more towards a media company, where we have our own marketing. We also have and our marketing together will work with reputable, good companies like Nasdaq, and that's where I got to say revenue streams come in many different ways, and it's a little bit unlike from a local traditional brokerage where a lot of people will just be focusing on commission. So I got to say it will be from many different sources, and that shows from our 11th quarter in the money in terms of our reporting itself.
Content is everything these days.
Yes,
all right, Gavin, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me at the Singapore Fintech Festival. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.